Yo, what you saying, people? Welcome back to my channel. I am very vexy. Today I'm going to be doing a quick review of this new Ramsey card. So of course he came out on Saturday, I believe, at 6 o'clock. It's now Monday. I've played some games with this guy in Foot Champs, and I think I can give you a good review of this card and tell you whether this guy is actually worth the coins. Now I believe he's coming in upwards of like 170 to 180,000 coins. May go up a little bit, may come down a little bit, but I'm going to be giving you my advice whether you should do this card. I'm going to be giving you my kind of tips on maybe where you should play this card, and I'll be giving you my opinion on the games he has played for me, how well he's played, and do I see a future with him in my squad. So as you can see, he's completed. I completed him yesterday before, and then obviously I took him into a few games of Foot Champions. The reason why I did him is because he fits my team perfectly. Literally, he was a straight swap for a player I already had. Because of the striker Mkhitaryan, because of the Europa League live Mkhitaryan that I have at striker, it's almost it's going to be impossible to get in a strong link except for Arsenal. Of course, there's no really good Armenian players in the Premier League, if any Armenian players in the Premier League. So what I did play is I had Lucas Torreira in a centre mid, and Lucas Torreira has been a great centre mid for me. He has played 255 games since I got his card. He did drop out of the squad for a while, and then he got his upgrade, so I brought him back in, and he's been really, really good. I have no complaints about this Torreira. You know, his defending is top tier. You know, near enough 99s across the board for them defending stats. He's very kind of small, Kante-esque, quick, agile, and he's got a pass on him. He's a decent player. He was a good player, and there's a little bit of a bulldog in the midfield as a CDM, but you know, I was always kind of waiting to upgrade him. I know there's Guendouzi who I could put in there, but I was always a little bit kind of hesitant about Guendouzi. I don't know why. I just didn't really fancy putting a 500k player in there when I didn't feel Guendouzi was too much of an upgrade on Torreira. So I thought I'd keep Torreira until someone comes out that makes sense. And it happened to be this Ramsey. Now, what I will say is off the first glance is that this card looks like a more of an attacking midfielder than a defensive midfielder. So I was a little bit hesitant about whether to get him or not. But what swayed me to do him is that Torreira, when Torreira was always on the ball, I always knew that I couldn't shoot with this guy. I always knew that I couldn't really play, you know, the kind of really aggressive. I had to get it out to Son or Mkhitaryan or someone, you know, who could do something creative with the ball and possibly score, because Torreira didn't quite have it in his locker. And I knew that I wanted someone that had it in the locker. Same with Keane, you know, very low shooting stats. I wanted someone in that defensive midfield that I could get the ball to, because of course, when you're attacking, the defensive mids are usually sat on the edge of the box, maybe a little bit further back. I wanted a midfielder that could collect the ball in that position, take it forward a little bit, maybe get a shot off, or get a good pass into one of the attacking players. And Ramsey is that card. So I am playing him with an anchor, of course, as you can see, straight swap in for my Torreira. I'm playing with an anchor because I feel that's probably going to suit him the best. Of course, with an anchor, he does turn into a club 80 card. I think he goes up to about 87 defending, about 84, 85 physical. His pacing gets boosted by 3 or 4, I believe. So I did look at chem styles. Sentinel was one that I was really tempted by because, of course, he does need that defending and physical boost, but I like the boosts that this anchor gives him. It gives him plus 10s across the board, and then a 5 on interceptions for his defending, and then a nice strength, a nice aggression boost, and you know, a little bit of a jumping boost as well, which can and probably will be helpful for us. Now, the main reasons, I love high players, 6 foot. These are things that I love in any position really on the pitch. 6 foot is like the perfect height for a player on FIFA, and then high is, for me anyway, my favourite work rates. I feel like I get the best out of the high work rate players just because they're all over the pitch, and especially couple that with the fact that he's got really good stamina, 92 stamina. It just means that this guy's going to be all over the pitch all the time, and I like that with any player, especially my defensive mid. So first of all, of course, you can see I played 3 games with him, 3 games in Foot Champs last night. He did play really, really well. I really enjoyed using him. One thing I did notice is that he does have an attacking work rate compared to my Torreira, who doesn't. So what I did find is that he was on the edge of the box that little bit more. He was pushing the lines. He was getting involved a little bit more. Where Keane, of course, was sat back because he does have a high defensive work rate, medium attacking work rate. So it was almost like I was playing like two defensive mids, and one was sat a little bit further, towards the attack, and I actually really enjoyed that, at least in the games that I did play. Of course, I'll give you a more comprehensive review on my channel next week if you guys want to see that over the course of a full FUT Champs weekend. So yeah, he played really well. He picked the ball up, he was confident in the ball, he did feel really agile, which is quite interesting for me because he's quite a tall player and his agility's only 80, but he did feel good on the ball. I felt like to turn direction pretty quickly and get it into the wingers. His passing did seem on point. Of course, 95 and 91 respectively for the passing stats are absolutely ridiculous. You're going to be finding passes almost every time, especially if you're passing it with your stronger foot. His shooting stats are obviously insane. He didn't score a goal for me. He did challenge the keeper a couple of times with a finesse shot, a couple of power shots, so he did look strong. Compared to Torreira, who just couldn't shoot and it would go into the stands, this guy was challenging, forcing saves, forcing corners, which of course maybe led to goals. Because the only bad thing about his card is the fact that his weakest part of the card is his defending and physical, and this guy is being used as a CDM. Of course, if you plan to use this guy as a cam, I'd probably say he's probably going to play better there than as a CDM because of that great shooting, great passing and great dribbling. But I need a CDM, and he's got good enough defending to the point where he can play as a CDM. The classic example is Pogba, not really that good defensive stats, but plays really well there because of the height, because of the stamina, because of the strength. Of course, Ramsey doesn't have all of those things, but his defending is better than Pogba's, and he's kind of like a ball player. He's similar to Pogba in some ways, and of course not in the main ways, but he has got he's more of an attacking player that can defend. So I've brought him back. I've given him an anchor because he does get boosted nicely in those defensive stats, but of course you'd realistically, in this point of the game heading towards team of the season, you want some really high 90 stats or maybe low 90 stats at kind of minimum. He does achieve that 92 stand tackle and 89 side tackles. There is some stats there, but 87 marking, that's just good enough, I'd say, at this point in the game, to be really considered as a good CDM. 78 heading accuracy, that's hit and miss, that's just average, I'd say. But yeah, this card is really good, and for the price, I do think you guys should get him. If he fits your team, I definitely don't think this is a guy you should go out of your way to kind of fit him into your team, right? Don't change players around to get him in. For me, it was a straight swap. It made sense, and it was that easy just to get him in, swap him out. And the thing is, if I don't like him, I can just swap him like that, and then he can just sit on my bench. And if I ever need to submit him into an SBC or anything, I can do. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think I'm really going to enjoy this Ramsey card. I did do in the games that I played. Of the 3 games I played, I won, and I won quite convincingly. I don't think I conceded many goals. So, of course, what he does add is a nice element of height into that midfield. I've got Keane now who's 5'11". I've got Ramsey who's 6 foot and 6'4", 6'2", 6'4", 6'3". So my team at the back is just massive, and of course that is really good for those crosses, those El Tornado crosses that are just so annoying. These guys are gonna do well for me, and yeah, if you're looking for a straight up answer whether you should do this Ramsey card, I do think you should do this Ramsey card. If you can do him for a little bit cheaper, for maybe some untradables, maybe getting rid of some red cards, or whatever you can use, then definitely do. Of course, this card is very good. Don't purposely go out of your way and build a team around him and try and squeeze him in that way, because I don't think he's quite that good enough. But if he does fit your team and he makes sense, you're replacing someone who's maybe a little bit worse in certain areas, and you are looking for that little bit more of an attacking threat in your midfield, this guy is the guy to use. So anyway, I'm going to leave the review there. If you guys have any questions about this Ramsey or anything else, make sure you just drop me a comment. I'll answer all the comments in this video. And yeah, leave me a like if you enjoyed it. Anybody else you want reviews on, maybe there's some more cards that have been released recently for birthday, etc, etc, let me know and I can do reviews on those guys for you too. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you are new around here for daily FIFA content, and I will see you later.